Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of The Right Stand. At the outset, thank you viewers for your patronage, your confidence, not just in CNN News 18, but also on The Right Stand, and for joining us here at 8 p.m. weekdays and to watch us consistently for more than a year now, keeping us right ahead of competition. Thank you very much. There's another aspect, ladies and gentlemen. Kerala's story reflects ground realities. And we say that with confidence here at CNN News 18 because it was a CNN News 18 investigation that took us to ground, and made us realize the extent of not just radicalization, but the efforts to try and trap gullible women or women who were to a certain extent innocent or perhaps did not see the larger design, lure them in, radicalize them, and send them away from our shores to fight a battle which is not there, and also to send them to a life of servitude. Now, this is a reality on ground. Many would want to brush it under carpet. They would be fighting over the numbers, but like the makers of this movie said, whether it is 3, 30, 300, 3,000, 30,000, should this be allowed on our soil? And should this be allowed in society? Now, this story, the film, has hit the screen, and the fire surrounding it continues. Days after Prime Minister Narendra Modi endorsed the film, slammed the Congress party for opposing the film that exposes reality, the controversy around the film refuses to die. Clearly, there are not just multiplexes in Kerala, but also in neighboring Tamil Nadu, where the owners of these multiplexes are citing law and order as the reason. Some also claiming that the film would not work at the box office as there are no big stars. Now, these are the grounds given, but in hush-hush tones they are saying that we don't want to get into trouble. We don't want a law and order situation. We don't want multiplexes pelted, and there are calls saying, you dare not screen the movie. This is all not on record. Off record is what they're saying. They don't want to come on record. We've tried. The Bengal government too now wading into this entire controversy, saying that the film will create unrest and hatred. On the other hand, Information and Broadcasting Minister Anurag Thakurji watching the film at a special screening and said it must be shown to all as it creates awareness and shows how young girls are lured. The producer of the film, Vipul Shah, meanwhile deciding to take legal action if the film continues to face blockade. Listen in to the various points of view.
To know the truth behind the recruitment of girl child for the organizations like IS or the other world terrorist outfits, isn't it the right step by the producer and the director of this film to create awareness among the masses how girls are being lured in the name of love, and finally get into the organizations like IS and other terrorist organizations? Mamta ji has to answer, Congress has to answer, Communist has to answer. Are they against the makers of such films, or they would like to be on the side to create more awareness so that in future, nobody get into such kind of activities in the name of love, get into the terrorist activities?
What is this Kerala files? Though I don't support the CPM people, instead of me, it was their duty to criticize it. But they worked together. I'm sorry. I will request the state government chief minister. Very sad that your party is working with BJP. And that BJP is showing the Kerala files a distorted stories. The party nominated some stars nominated by BJP, funded by BJP. They came to Bengal also. And along with some distorted stories, the concocted stories, in a films, Bengal files.
पहला पिक्चर हिटलर ने बनाया था जूस के खिलाफ, उसका जर्मन लैंग्वेज से इंग्लिश में तर्जुमा करेंगे, ट्रांसलेशन करें, उसका नाम इटर्नल जू था। जर्मनी के जर्मन अवाम में पूरी नफरत फैल गई जूस के ताल्लुक से। उसके बाद ऑटोमेटिकली रास्ता साफ हो गया। इससे हमको सबक हासिल करना है। ये हमारी खुशकिस्मती है कि अगर वो बॉलीवुड में चले जाते तो ये पूरे फिल्म स्टार घर में बढ़ जाते, मगर अब प्रधानमंत्री एक्टर के साथ साथ पिक्चर के प्रोमोटर भी बन गए। 130 करोड़ जनता का प्रधानमंत्री है और एक पिक्चर को प्रमोट करते हैं, वो भी झूठी।
But amid all this backlash, ban and blockade, the film is having a successful run at the box office so far. Day 3 collections have been very impressive. Day 1, the film collected around 8.03 crore. Day 2, it was 11.22 crore. And Day 3, the collections were 16 crore. So all in all, the total collection exceeding 35 crore rupees. And there are more and more people who are now talking about the movie, saying you must go and watch it. What does the film show? The film shows the story of 3 young girls from Kerala, allegedly forced to convert to Islam, reportedly radicalized to join the IS, highlighting the alleged love jihad propaganda. So these are the considerations that have been put in the movie. Like the Kashmir files, the Kerala story also talks about the underbelly of our society, a dark side which a lot of people don't want to look at, don't want to consider, don't even want to acknowledge exists. But CNN News 18 can confirm to you that there is a radicalization exercise on ground, be it Karnataka, Tamil Nadu, more importantly, God's own country, Kerala. Joining us tonight, ladies and gentlemen, are not stars. They are not the makers or cast of the movie, but they are the real faces around whom, or some of the stories that find themselves represent on 70mm. Anagha, a victim of coercion. Vishali Shetty, victim of coercion. Both of them joining us live. Namaste, Jai Hind, Anagha ji, Vishali ji. Thank you very much for agreeing to speak up.
Namaste.
Anagha ji, I remember you. You are one of the few people who was brave enough to speak to us also on this entire radicalization effort. Let me ask you, many people are questioning, and between you and Vishali, feel free to talk to each other and also talk to us. The time is yours, floor is yours. Is this entire exercise real?
Okay.
Or is this movie a figment of imagination? Tell our viewers your own story, Anagha ji and Vishali ji. Anagha ji first.
Okay, thank you, Ji. And as you have mentioned earlier, I have already told you just my story. And even I was a victim of intellectual jihad, and not the one love jihad as shown in the film, but love jihad exists, of course exists. And my conversion story starts from 2013 to 14, that time onwards. And as the Shalini Unni Krishnan, the main character in that film, faces many questions, that how many gods you have, why are you praying this type of gods and all. That type of questions was also faced by me, by my roommates and colleagues, etc. And I was unable to answer them, and I kept silent there. And obviously I asked these questions to my parents, and my parents were also unable to answer these questions, and they said that we are following this all because our forefathers had done, so we are just following the same. They said like that only. And so I was not satisfied, and I searched for more clarifications in social medias, and there also I didn't get any convincing answers. So I thought that there is nothing point in Hinduism. This is the first step they try to convert. It is the first step they are taking for the conversion, because first they will ask questions and they will confuse you, and at this stage they will start criticizing your religion. And even at that stage also, when you kept unanswered or when you kept silent, they will start slowly the brainwashing process. And they started the second step. They started criticizing my religion, and there also I couldn't counter their questions with any answers. So they slowly told me that Islam is the real path, and Allah is the only God, and they told me about Prophet Muhammad, the Holy Quran, etc. and etc. And also they told me that in Islam it is said that a woman should be dressed like this and this, so that she will be safe from the hellfire. Otherwise, if a woman exposes in front of other men other than her husband, she will be thrown into hellfire. And they told me like that. And slowly I was into that ideology. They used the main thing, that the fear of hell, to hold me in this Islam. And slowly they shared me their Quran translations and the videos of Akbar and Zakir Naik, and I started watching all those videos, and slowly I was fed up with this Islamic ideology in brain. And after 5 to 6 years of my Islamic study, I became a anti-Hindu, anti-nation, and not only that, even I became anti-human, because I consider other non-Muslims as just kafirs only. It is said that in Quran there is no consideration should be given to kafirs. They can be treated as cruel as you can, like that. It is said in the Quran. So I was studying this ideology, and I was completely, totally brainwashed, and I considered even my parents as kafirs, and even I hated Hindu gods, Hindu religion, Hindu culture, even the word Hindu I hated the most at that time. And even they told many things against our Prime Minister Narendra Modi ji, and I was completely against this nation and all the Hindu, even organizations, Hindu religion, everything.
So that's how far you went, and then you've come back. You're saying 4-5 years later, 6 years later, you've come back into the fold. I'll come to that journey.
After 6 years.
I'll come to that in just a bit, Anagha ji. Let me understand from Vishali. What was your experience, Vishali? Right now, I believe you're associated very closely with the Arsha Vidya Samajam. But let me ask you your story. And do you believe the Kerala story is true or false?
Yeah, thank you. So my story also had a similar pattern of what Anagha had to go through, except that my radicalization or my brainwashing into Islam happened in my workplace. So I was working in an IT company in Bangalore, started from Kerala and also moved to Bangalore. So this is when my radicalization into Islam started. So it's the same pattern. My colleagues approached me. They started, asking me questions about my dharma, which initially I tried to defend with common sense and logic, but later I did not have answers to their questions. So at that point they started creating a confusion. That created a confusion in my mind, and that void, they could sense that void, and they started feeding me with Islamic ideologies, or presenting their ideologies in such a way that it appears to be right, or you start thinking that what they're saying is right, and you start feeling that what your dharma or what you have been following all these years, or what culture or what religion you have been born into is totally wrong. So that is how it happened with me, the same things that Anagha said. And then I was able to come to Arsha Vidya Samajam, from where I was able to understand the fallacies of the radicalization and come back to Sanatana Dharma fully. And the next question that you asked is whether Kerala story is actually true. We watched the movie, and from what the movie shows, we can tell you that this is exactly what is happening, not just in Kerala today, but many places in India, not only India, but around the world. Coming to the story of the three girls, the main character portrayed as Shalini Unnikrishnan, it very closely resembles the story of Nimisha from Thiruvananthapuram, who got radicalized into Islam and ended up in an ISIS camp. So it is very closely resembling her story. And other characters, many incidents in the characters or plot of the other characters is taken from the experience of resembles the experiences of different people. So the movie very accurately depicts what is actually happening in society today. So there is no
But
reason
Vishali, many
why,
would say 1 or 2 cases, 4 or 5 cases. Can you broad brush that this is rampant? This number of 32,000, everybody is challenging this. The makers of the movie say this number is far greater. I spoke with Sudipta Sen, and Sudipta said he's met at least 500 cases himself. But let me ask you, are you just 1 or 2? You are also saying it's rampant. So where are the numbers? It's not, nothing is there officially.
In our experience itself, that is Arsha Vidya Samajam has been bringing back people for more than 23 years now. In our experience itself, we have brought
You're saying
more than
bringing back
7,000
people.
And
Bringing
it's not
back
just
people
women.
for more than 23 years, you said.
Yes. It is not only ISIS. This is a step-by-step strategic conversion process. It is a step-by-step process which could in the extreme lead to a radicalized person or a brainwashed person landing up in the ISIs. So in many cases, many instances, we are able to bring them back at a very earlier stage. Had they not been brought back, had Anagha not been brought back, or had Anagha not able to come back to Sanatana Dharma, or had I not been able to come back, we would have definitely ended up in such a stage.
And you're saying 7,000 cases in 23 years?
Gradually.
7,000 cases in 23 years, and it's all documented.
Yes.
Go ahead and explain. So how?
But most of these people, so of these 7,000 people that Asha Vidya Samajam has been able to rescue and bring back to Sanatana Dharma are including both men and women. And most of these cases we cannot tell their stories, usually cannot tell their stories in the open, because people are not ready to come and speak about it in the open because of societal reputation and different things like that. Especially when it is a case of a girl, they don't come out and talk about it. But this movie has definitely created a atmosphere where people, more and more people, are are actually saying that this is actually happening. After the movie itself, we got many cases, many people calling us from around the world saying, see, we have such a case in our house where someone is getting radicalized or someone is getting, brainwashed into a certain ideology or a certain mindset. So please help us, please, de-brainwash them, or please help us bring them out of that mindset.
So, but Anagha, when did you realize that you wanted to actually find a way out? Did you even realize that you were getting radicalized? You were getting bigoted?
Okay, I've told you that for about 6 years I was studying about Islam, and at the end of the 6th year I decided that I want to be known as a Muslim woman in front of the society, so I have to legally convert. And by 2020 I called a conversion center in Kozhikode, that is Tarbiyatul Islamic Sabha, to that I want to get converted. They told that since it is lockdown, no new admissions are being taken, and I have no other options. So it was from my workplace, near to the workplace. So I resigned my job and came to home, and there also I practiced namaz, and I was living just like a Muslim woman, that I was wearing hijab and wearing full sleeves dress, and I was following all the things that is said in the Islam. And at that time some of the RSS activists came to know about me, and they searched about me, and they got to know that I'm going to get converted, and they connected my family with an organization, that is the Asha Vidya Samajam. And my brother came to me and asked whether don't think that if they don't have any answers to my questions, don't think that nobody has answers to your questions. There is some place where you can get all your answers. Are you willing to come or not? They asked me, and I told that okay, I'm ready to come anywhere, but in one condition. Once I left that place, I will be either a complete Hindu or a complete Muslim. I said that. In that condition, I entered Asha Vidya Samajam, and here I met Acharya Sri Manojji, and I had a debate with him, and Acharya made me realize that faults and threats in the Islam by pointing the facts in the Quran itself, Quran and Hadith itself, and I realized how dangerously I was going to that path. And I decided that what I had gone through, no girl should go through that. So I decided to work as a lifetime worker in Asha Vidya Samajam, and I have been associated with Asha Vidya Samajam for now 3 years.
Okay,
and
let me ask you, Anagha.
Even,
yeah, please complete. Now also even complete, and then I'll ask.
Yeah. Now also daily we are getting 10 to 20 phone calls saying that our child is going, that is our child is child is getting radicalized, and she is in love with one Muslim guy. However, please help us. And they are crying. Crying parents are on the other side.
Now, let me ask
We
you
are
this,
getting
Anagha
10 to
and
20
Vishali.
phone calls. And how can...
Please answer this. A boy and a girl falling in love, there is nothing wrong with that. Be it a Muslim boy, Hindu girl, Muslim boy, Christian girl, vice versa. Hindu boy, Muslim girl, however it is. Why do you say that there is an effort to convert them? Do you see a case where they are doing it with the design to convert them? Or is it that just two individuals are
Exactly.
in love with each other? Vishali, yeah, please tell me this. This whole love jihad is only if it is a devious design with the intent to convert non-Muslim girls into Islam and then leave them or radicalize them and then move on to the next spree. That's the whole allegation of love jihad. So tell me, is that what is happening?
Correct. So if it is merely a relationship between a boy and a girl, it's not at all a problem. Any two people could fall in love and be in a relationship or get married. But what is a problem is that this is being carried out, this radicalization or step-by-step brainwashing is being carried out in the name of love. So rather than calling it love jihad, we would like to call it love trap jihad. That is, they are trapping women or young girls on the pretext of love, and through that they are step by step. The first step is they're trapping them. At the second stage, they'll tell them that if my family has to accept you in my house, you have to get converted. So they say it is just for marriage. So for the namesake, they say it is for namesake, just for the parents to accept, you have to get converted just for the purpose of marriage. But then the conversion is not just a paperwork or just a formality. If a person has to get converted, he or she has to undergo a rigorous, at least 2 months proper course on Islamic studies before he gets converted, before he can get a conversion certificate. So in that process, what they are being taught is exactly what is depicted in the movie. So I don't have to say more about it. So what movie depicts about what happens in a conversion center is exactly accurately depicted in the movie.
Well,
so the marriages or the relationships that lead to a step-by-step radicalization of the girl or of a boy into getting into such paths or adopting an anti-national, anti-human and anti-social mindset is what is the problem, and that is what we have to overcome, no matter which religion the person belongs to.
Now, what do you say to the people?
Like to add is
yeah,
that
please complete. Then I'll ask you. Please complete. Sorry.
Yeah, one more point I want to add is that of the recorded reports of the number of people who went to join ISIS from Kerala, they have themselves claimed that the majority of people amongst the 100 or 150 people who joined majority are Muslims. Only a small number is people from other religions. So why are you creating a problem about it? So that is exactly what we want to see. If Muslims themselves are getting, adopting or ending up in the ISIS, that is a problem for the Muslim community or the religion itself. So they also have to fight against this brainwashing, right? So it is not a problem only for a certain section of society. It is a problem for whole humanity itself.
Yeah, it's endemic. It's across the board.
Everybody together has to fight against.
It's a common problem. Now, my final question is, if there is a lot of opposition in Kerala, the cine owners are saying they are blocking screening of the movie. Tamil Nadu, again, similar story. Bengal now, Mamata Banerjee has said, we will ban the movie. We are not going to show the movie. What would you, because it's all false. It's a wrong narrative. This is all humbug. This is going to create social unrest and social disharmony. What would you two like to tell such voices or people who are challenging the veracity or the authenticity of the story of Kerala story? Vishali and then Anagha. Yeah.
If they if they are saying that what is depicted in the movie is not correct, it's just a movie, it's just a made-up story, then they don't have to be worried about it, because according to them, such things are not happening, so they need not worry about it. But then, from our experience, we can say that this is actually happening. And if they don't want to bring out in front of the world what is actually happening and what is leading people, a whole population of people into radicalization and terrorism and extremism, and they don't want to speak up about it, then they are leading the society into huge danger. So if they don't want to expose it, it is a huge danger that they don't want to expose it. We'll say that we have to challenge this. The movie has to be made accessible to all people, no matter what religion they belong to or represent.
So Anagha, you would urge everybody to watch the movie? Your thoughts, final word?
Yeah. Actually, I wondered why some of the governments are banning this type of movie, because it is not against any religion. It is just pointing out the ISIS terrorism and depicting its cruelty and all their strategies and all. Why, whether this government are supporting them or not, I am doubting like that only. So my request is to request to everyone is to watch this movie. You have to know what the truth is. The truth must be exposed before the society. I request everyone to watch this movie.
Well, Anagha and Vishali, thank you very much. Yeah, please complete. Please complete.
Thank you.
Please complete.
Yeah, banning the movie. So banning the movie will not do any good. Movie has to be screened everywhere, in every state, in every language, so that people know the dangers of ISIS, and we can prevent a whole generation or a whole population of people by ending up in the ISIS, or the ISIS becoming a world threat.
Vishali and Anagha, thank you very much. You've shown a lot of courage to come out in the open and speak, and thank you for showing that courage and also being very, very candid with your points of view. Thank you very much. Thank you for speaking with us.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Thank you.
Thank you.